All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Vega. This is SerpentX Tech. And usually a show that we do every week called Caffeine and Crypto, at least every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Took the weekend off last week. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for allowing me some PTO, even though I didn't get paid, to spend some time with my family and celebrate my youngest birthday. Went down to Davenport, Florida. Took the family to Epcot. Had a good time. The adults, the ladies went drinking around the world. And we just had a great time. So I appreciate, it's always good to get out, get away from the charts, get away from the craziness that this crypto world can sometimes bring upon you. Looks like we had a fun one. We're pretty down on the week. I mean, if we start around Sunday, October 8th, we were sitting around 28K, and we've just been on a steady downturn. Still a higher low, right, than September 11th, which obviously has its date etched in most of the Americans' minds. And it looks like, besides bouncing off the 26.5 area, we've been climbing up, try to get past 27K, got pushed back down, and now here we are right around at 26.8. So, throughout the week, the previous week, or I guess the end of September, we were looking pretty good. And that first week of October, we continue to climb up. But then this past weekend, while I was not available, it seems we have turned down. So I got some news articles to go over with you. The SEC won't appeal the loss in grayscale, so not appealing that. That's good. We got the governor in California signing a new crypto license bill, Ferrari, ETFs for Ethereum. Also, obviously, quick discussion about the SBF situation. I haven't been up to speed. I'm sure you guys have been as well. We're going to watch some content. Hopefully, I don't get a copyright claim for that. FTC reaches a settlement with the Voyager Digital. Charges former executive with falsely claiming consumer deposits were insured by FDIC. A lot of those crypto companies, like Celsius, I warned, were not FDIC insured. And while the CEO and others were advising, that they had reserves or they could cover losses up to a certain point, yada, yada, yada. Obviously, we got to talk about the political tensions in the Middle East, and then hopefully end on some happy news, because the A580 kind of been met with good, I guess. Is it good? From some of the reviewers that I've been catching up on, budget oriented, a little bit better, higher than I would like the price to be. I could see this being a $150 card, but the ARC A580 looks like it's doing all right. Counter-Strike 2, people using AMD or Radeon Anti-Lag Plus could result in a ban, and it's not just Counter-Strike 2, it's other games as well. Anti-Lag, the technology does make, as you're playing the first-person shooter, as it downscales to, catch up with the frames, reduces the resolution or adjusts so that these pixels can load only to certain areas that are important. Is that an unfair advantage? I guess some companies thought it was, and so be careful because they could get you banned. Anyways, good morning, as I said, afternoon, evening. What's up, Caspa Live, Crypto Pounder 4, Neomorphous, Fudweiser. Thank you for being a member of the channel. Don't forget you can become a member of the channel by just clicking the little join button down below. Lejack, Black Cat Crypto, Craig Davis, and son of Rabid Panda. Thank you so much for stopping by. I had to restart the computer because you know how, let me move out of your way here. So in hardware info, when you're using programs like LOL Miner, T-Rex Miner, SRB Miner to lock your core clocks, it can sometimes stay locked. If you don't exit that program properly, it can lock your clock still. And on a Windows system, that obviously wouldn't impact you in a Hive or Linux-based mining operating system because you're not really gaming on it, but you got to be careful of that, right? So I saw that 1605 was locked in the core MEM was locked at 1250, and it just wouldn't move no matter what I did. So I had to restart the system, kind of refresh the drivers, because sometimes my wife gets on here and she's got to do something, and so she closes out the miner tab. She does what she needs to. She doesn't start it back up, but it's still locked the clocks. So just be mindful of that. You got to exit these programs properly. What am I thinking about the market? All right, so for those of you who care about my damn opinion, I'm still bullish on the long term. I still believe that in 2024, 2025, maybe end of 2024, Q2 of 2025, we might start to climb up to those new all-time highs. Obviously, a good portion or good amount of time after the halving is what I suspect. But I mean, from the charts, and I haven't been up to speed on everything, guys. I've been really busy with my personal life and work. I think the dollar was strengthening. I'm not sure where the dollar is right now. Let's see if we can go bring it up. DXY. No. What is the dollar? I forgot what the dollar thing is. There it is. Dollar currency index. Yeah. So the dollar's been strengthening. And yeah. Usually when that happens, we have Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Let's take a look at Ethereum over the last week. USD. Let's use Bitstamp. Yeah, so you could see here. So ever since the beginning of October, it actually did the opposite. It didn't follow Bitcoin exactly to the T, which is kind of odd. But you can see we got up to almost 1800, 1750. And it's been on a downtrend since the beginning of October. And, on the 30th, I had my colleagues, Voscoin, Son of a Tech, Bitsby Trippin come on the show for us to talk about how crypto mining has changed since the Ethereum merge. I don't think things have been the same for Ethereum. And there is some concerning factors that we're going to talk about here towards the show. But it looks like Bitcoin is trying to get up over that 26.9K. We'll see if it can do it before the end of the show. Moving on, I'm going to go through the news articles as I usually do. I know last week I was a little bit more interactive. You guys can chat amongst yourselves. If you're trying to get my attention, go ahead and send me a super chat or at me in the live chat. Otherwise, I'm going to get rocking and rolling. Because after, beyond YouTube, there is a lot that I need to do. So I need to get the day started. So SEC won't appeal the loss in Grayscale case, boosting the odds that the GBTC can become a Bitcoin ETF. The SEC was rebuked by the court in August. We talked about this in previous Caffeine Crypto for how it rejected Grayscale's application to turn its Bitcoin trust into an ETF. By the way, drinking some Doge Lord coffee, one of my favorite brands to drink. Check them out. The regulator won't appeal the loss. A person familiar with the matter said Friday, boosting the odds that Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, GBTC, can be turned into more appealing ETF. What's up, Crypto Mikkel? Thank you, everybody, for coming over and hanging out. What's up, Chump Change? Good morning to you. I haven't caught up with you in a while, brother. I hope you're doing well. I miss you. I'm going to DM you later, bro. I just want to give loves, say hello. I guess I'm doing that right now. Just know that you're always in my thoughts and prayers. All right, brother? The SEC won't appeal the court's reversal of its decision not to let Grayscale convert its Bitcoin trust into a more investor-friendly exchange-traded fund. That's what ETF stands for. According to the person familiar with the matter, possibly clearing the way for the first Bitcoin ETF in the U.S. The market's regulator had, and Crypto Mikkel, I'm going to call you later. What's up, Automatic Beats? I'll call you later, Crypto Mikkel. The market regulator had until midnight Friday to decide on challenging the court's decision, but the SEC will let the deadline come and go without appealing, says somebody from Reuters. In August, blah, 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 we already know about the decline, blah, blah, blah. SEC recently approved the trading of 2 Bitcoin futures funds on national exchanges, but denied approval of Grayscale's Bitcoin fund. SEC spokesperson didn't immediately respond to requests to confirm the agency's decision. It's unclear how the SEC will proceed in the next round with Grayscale's application. The agency still has the authority to deny it for other reasons besides the one the court shot down. Grayscale first applied to convert its closed-end fund into an ETF on October 2021. So now we're 2 years past. Grayscale has long advocated for the conversion of the GBTC to an ETF, would eliminate the discount as it would close the gap between the price and the underlying Bitcoin. The structure of ETF follows the creation redemption model, which means new ETF shares can be created to meet demand or redeem to reduce supply, right? Redemption of the shares of the and basically settled in Bitcoin, right? I think some of the ETFs we had in the past were settled in US dollar. So whether you like institutions getting into Bitcoin, it doesn't matter because the institution can do what they do. Meanwhile, this entire time that it's been downturning, right? Like my boy DJ Mines, who's been accumulating cash to get into positions, right? To accumulate assets. That's what the institutions are doing, right? So if you're sitting there broke, which is where they want you, not accumulating what you can, you're playing right into their trap. That's the whole goal. They want to gobble up as much as possible so they can control the supply, even though they one day they're going to realize they can't. They think they can. And while you're not buying in, they're buying in. So while the price is down, dollar cost average, not financial advice, but dollar cost average. Because we don't want the rich and powerful to be more rich and powerful. We want you guys to get rich and powerful so you can buy me a Lambo, right? Lambo? No. All right. Give me a Civic with a K24 swap or a GR Corolla with a bigger turbo. And by the way, the turbo is built onto the exhaust manifold. I don't know. I'm getting sidetracked here. Either way, we want you to get rich. We want you to build financial wealth for yourself, right? This is a democracy. We want the world, the people, the hard workers, the blue collars to be able to get their bread, right? And live a fruitful life and not have to worry about where they're going to eat and how they're going to pay for rent and how they're going to do this. Because living that day in, day out, trust me, I know, sucks. So build that financial wealth. Institutions are coming in whether you like it or not. They're gobbling up funds, so you might as well stack it up while you can. Stack them sats, baby. So anyway, Governor Gavin Newsom of California, a Democrat, on Friday signed into law a measure that would regulate California's crypto industry, home to nearly a quarter of the blockchain companies in North America. I thought a lot of tech industries, including crypto, left California. So yeah, is a quarter accurate? I'm not sure how accurate that data is. But anyways, the lawmakers wanted to put new rules around cryptocurrency, an issue that it's received more urgency after last year's collapse of FTX exchange and other turmoil in the market. With no looming federal action, state legislators wanted to establish a basic regulatory framework. Newsom, who has advocated for the innovation of blockchain, has previously vetoed similar legislation. And blockchain is a digital ledger that keeps track of such things as blah, blah, blah. Okay, so because I'm not paying for Bloomberg, they're not letting me see it. When you first open those articles, by the way, which I did, but because I had to restart, it disappeared. When you first open those articles, it lets you read the article. But after X amount of time, or maybe if you refresh the page, it's going to kick you out. So Ferrari to accept crypto as payment for cars in the U.S. So now this isn't Ferrari as a whole, right? So out there at its test facilities and its Italian headquarters, but in the United States, and this is probably more of a United States marketing ploy, right? Because Ferrari knows or sees the writing on the wall, knows that it needs to stack up as much crypto as possible. And so by allowing you, the end user, to pay for your Ferrari in Bitcoin, that would be kind of fruitful for them. Let's just say, for example, let's just do some math real quick. So we're going to go Bitcoin to USD. Let's say we paid 100. How much is, hang on a second. Let's go do some car research. Latest Ferrari. Actually, let's just go, is there a Ferrari website? I don't think I can order stuff online. I'm pretty sure I can't. Oh, configurator. There you go. Give me that thing. Go back. Can I see the price of these? Ho, the SF90X. How much is that sucker? Let's configure. Oh, that red and black looks sick. Default configuration. Rosa Cosa. Okay. Come on, Ferrari. Jeez Louise. Website's running slow today, guys. All right, paintwork. Let's just save and acquire. Send a dealer. I don't know what the price is. What is the price? Okay. Ferrari SF90 price. Here we go. All right, so starting at that amount right there. So let's say it's that much. That is 19.65 Bitcoin, okay? And that's right now with Bitcoin at 26.9. Let's say that Bitcoin climbs up to a couple 100,000. Let's say times 165,000 per Bitcoin. They just made 3.2 million off of your $500,000 purchase if they were to accept the Bitcoin and store it. Or let's say that they don't even store all 19.65. Let's say out of the 19.65, they only keep 9.65 times 165,000. That's still 1.5 million. Almost 1.6. So that basically that's the car plus $1 million. Just by saving less than, well, almost half. Maybe like 60% went back to, converted and went back into the facilities and obviously to use that money for development and all kinds of stuff. Maybe the next car, paying workers, whatever it might be. Let's say, 60% of the 19.65 Bitcoin was converted and the other 40% was held. And then we will have over almost 1.5 million. So Ferrari accepting Bitcoin, that's smart. And again, it's just the U.S. Maybe they're doing a trial run here in the United States to see the demand, because maybe not everybody wants to spend their Bitcoin. I can understand that too. I don't want to send you my Bitcoin. I'll send you another altcoin. You want some Ethereum? You want some Tezos? You want some Chainlink? You want some Algorand? How about Polygon? Let's do a transaction on Polygon so I can pay the least amount of fees. I don't want to send you my Bitcoin. Because if I send you my one Bitcoin, you win, I lose, right? Because how long is it going to take me to acquire one more Bitcoin? Unless I just outright buy one during a dip. So either way, cool for Ferrari. A little bit of math for you. SF90 way out of reach. I think there's more budget options for Ferrari, stuff like that. But obviously there's going to be some criticisms of this situation. We'll see how things pan out. But Ferrari shipped more than 1,800 cars to its Americas region, which include the U.S. the first half of the year. Galleria did not say how many cars Ferrari expect to sell through crypto. He said the company's order portfolio was strong and fully booked well into 2025, but the company wanted to test this expanding universe. This will help us connect to people who are not necessarily our clients, but what might afford a Ferrari, right? They know some of these crypto enthusiasts that probably were, OG money, right? Back in the day money. Bitcoin was under $100 money. You can't hang on to it and not be an idiot like some people. You might want to buy a Ferrari. You don't have the money in cash, but you got the money in crypto. Maybe you want to spend it. Maybe because you have so much Bitcoin, you're willing to divvy out 19.56 Bitcoin. In that case, if you're willing to do that, hey, I'll give you my address. Just give me one Bitcoin. That'd be great. Just one. If you got that kind of money. But still, I think this is a positive thing. BitPay will immediately turn cryptocurrency payments into traditional currency on behalf of Ferrari's dealers. So they're using BitPay. That's cool. Trying to help bridge that connection. They're going to be using BitPay. They got a quote here that this was one of our main goals, avoiding both our dealers and us to directly handle cryptocurrencies and being shielded from their wide fluctuations. So, okay, so that they're not going to hang on to it. Okay. I mean, if I were them, I would hang on to it. Like, if you're trying to build up your company, Ferrari, if you even watch this, I know you're too pompous to watch this show. I don't even know if that's the right word. I'm not cool enough for you guys, basically. I would hang on to a percentage of it. If anything, like I said, 60-40, You sell 60% of what you get paid in crypto assets. You keep 40% of the assets, or do a 75-25. I guarantee you that 25% that you save in crypto assets for payments and vehicles is going to pay off in the long run, especially if you're looking towards the future. You've been around for so many years, Ferrari. You're going to be around for many years after, right? I know you got to grow into the EV hybrid market. I would highly recommend, instead of just instantly settling, percentage it. My recommendation from a small-time YouTuber that you probably never watched. Just saying. Anyways. ProShares prepares to launch unique short Ether exchange or Ether strategy ETF. So it's a short of the Ether ETF, which will start trading soon following the approval of the first Ethereum futures ETF. So ProShares introduced a trio of ETFs in recent weeks, and the fund's latest offering is the short Ether. It is scheduled for a listing on the NYC ARCA exchange and aims to achieve daily investment outcomes that mirror the inverse of the daily S&P CME Ether Futures Index performance. Woo! Actually, I want to go see something. Yeah, Ethereum Futures CME. What is this? Contract switch. Interesting. Not big into futures, but I mean, meh. And it's following what everything else is doing, so. The fund does not exchange into direct shorting of Ether, but looks to capitalize on the price dips. On Friday, the price of Ethereum stood at roughly $15.40, a decrease of approximately 6% in the past week. ProShares anticipates the registration statement for the ETF will become effective on October 15th and plans to reintroduce the fund, that's tomorrow, in nearly November, as reported by Blockworks. However, the three existing ProShares ETFs, including the two that invest in both Ether and Bitcoin futures, debut on October 2nd alongside similar products from Van Eck and Bitwise. The SEC approved the Ethereum ETFs almost 2 years after the initial Bitcoin futures ETF, the ProShares Bitcoin strategy ETF, which entered the market in 2021. Let's see here. ProShares continues its release of Bitcoin futures ETF with short Bitcoin strategy ETF in June 2022. Currently, the ProShares Bitcoin strategy ETF has accumulated around $850 million in assets, with the short Bitcoin strategy ETF has approximately $75 million. So you could look at that right there, that number. There's $850 million in the standard Bitcoin strategy ETF, but there's $75 million in the short Bitcoin strategy. So that means people believe they're longing Bitcoin, they're not shorting Bitcoin, and I think that's about right. We might see a dip. Let's just backtrack here. We might see a dip, okay? I'm not going to get super bearish on you guys, but we might see a dip. You know, we perfectly bounced on September 11th and 12th. We perfectly bounced off this 25.1, 25 point. Let's just say, you know, the line is somewhere around 25.2. Okay. We bounced off of it. We've been making higher lows and higher highs. But, you know, if we were to fall further, you know, I see support, and you don't see the lines. They're not on here right now. But I see support. You know, there's so many different support areas, like the 24.8 range. Then we got another one around the just straight up 24K range. And I think there's one around the 22.5, 23K range. So if anything, you know, we could fall into the lower 20,000s. I don't think we're going to go all the way back down to 21.4K, but if we were, I do have a position in to pick up the drop, like a percentage. It's not a lot. Like, I don't have a lot of money and I don't have a lot of crypto. I'm actually stretched very thin personally, but I can't complain because I got food in my belly, I got clothes on my back, and my family's taken care of. Our bills are paid. I was down one car. I was down two cars. Now I'm down only one. Wife's car is running good. I did a tune-up on it. The Subaru is running good. I did a tune-up on it. Still got some more work to do. Compared to others who don't even have a place to stay, or they're worried about getting bombed, or they're sleeping in a box in an alley somewhere. I am not going to complain. I am not going to complain because I know there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands out there that are much worse than me. So I take my blessings and I keep it fucking moving. Period. End of discussion. But if we were to fall, dollar cost average, $10 here, $20 there, grab up what you can. Grab up what you can. So besides the ProShares preparing to launch the Ethereum strategy, short strategy ETF, Ethereum has nearly cleared out validator queue, signed that weak staking demand. So there's some metrics in short that are showing weakness in Ethereum. Ethereum's once crowded queue for new validators on the blockchain has almost completely cleared out. It would be the first time that has happened since Ethereum's major Shapella upgrade in April, which marked the completion of the blockchain's transition to a fully functioning proof of stake network. Blockchain data shows that there are just now 598 validators waiting to go onto the network, down from a peak of over 96,000 in early June. The shrinking queue means that the expected waiting time to add a new validator to the network shrunk to less than 5 hours as of Thursday. This is a remarkable decrease when new validators were looking at a 45-day wait time due to massive pent-up demand to stake Ether, the network's native token. Ethereum's rule limits how many new validators can come on every blockchain epoch, or roughly 12 seconds. Validators participate in maintaining Ethereum's proof of stake blockchain and verifying transactions by locking up ETH or staking their ETH. In exchange for their efforts, they receive staking rewards. Ethereum's Shapella upgrade allowed withdrawal of stake ETH for the first time, eliminated a significant source of risk for investors that they might not be able to get their funds back. The upgrade unleashed a wave of inflows into the blockchain staking mechanism. ETH staking growth was unexpectedly strong since the merge when Ethereum transitioned to proof of stake in September 2022 and Shapella's upgrade, but the initial fervor that has started to cool, says David Lant, head of research at the institutional crypto exchange FalconX. And you can see here an empty activation queue implies a slowdown in growth of stake ETH. I mean, there's a lot of validators out there. There's a lot of, if you got your ETH staked already, because to become a validator, you need your 32 ETH, and there's more steps to that, but you basically need your 32 ETH. I don't think there's a lot of people that are willing to do that. And the other people that are staking through those validators, right, through various things like Lido or Coinbase or whatever, they probably unstaked their stuff and moved out or converted it or whatever, right? So the strength of Ethereum is not as good, and does this mean more to come? Well, we already saw on the previous chart, like if we look here at Bitcoin, right? You can see here, end of September, right? Bitcoin starts to climb up. There's September 30th, where we had our meeting with Bitsby Trip and Son of a Tech and Voscoin. October 1st and 2nd, we climbed up to almost 28.5K. We kind of plateaued at 27.4, and then we dropped this week. If we look at Ethereum off rip basically collapsed at the end of September. So September 30th, right? Then we pumped the following day, October 1st, up to about 1750, and then ever since we've been going down. So while Bitcoin kind of went down with a little uptick and then down again, Ethereum just went down for the past 2 weeks. Now it's having an uptick, sort of, kind of, but it's kind of going off on its own. And I think the interest in Ethereum has diminished quite significantly, right? Ethereum price drops to 7-month low as data points to more downside. Now, don't get me wrong. Just because it's slowed down as far as validators go and the price is down and it isn't as much interest, that doesn't mean it's a weak platform. Ethereum is actually one of the largest DApp, DeFi, Web3 outlets, inlets, operations in the entire crypto. There's not a coin or project that has challenged it in any meaningful form. So I'm not saying that it's the end of Ethereum. That is not what I'm saying whatsoever. I'm just saying the interest in staking on Ethereum, the interest in Ethereum is diminishing quite significantly. And I think a lot of people, believe it or not, are getting out of these altcoins. Even though Ethereum is in the top two of cryptocurrencies, they're just getting out and putting their bag into Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin dropped down. You had $1,800 or almost $1,800. Excuse me. Ethereum was almost at $1,800. You had a couple Ethereum, and you took that opportunity to convert it, put it into Bitcoin, boom, right? You bought some Bitcoin at that 25, 24 range, and now you're just playing the waiting game. But there is some concerns, right? One of the biggest ones we talked about previously, Black Cat Crypto says, SerpentX Tech, any word on BlackRock spot ETF, or was I not paying attention? Let's find out. I don't think there was any word. At least not yet. Yeah, they delayed it. So that was in August. Let's see if we could search by the past week. Gonna use Coinbase custody, yep. No, it's just still waiting on the fucking SEC, man. Nothing popping. What's up, Taines? The Beginner's Block. How you doing? Rud Puts, Magic Lucky, Tony Magna. Oh, I'm cool enough for you. That's good. Son of Rabbit Panda. No, only some news on Grayscale. Yeah, that's what we talked about towards the beginning of the stream. Is this Grayscale ETF and then Pro Shares Ethereum short ETF. Anyways, back on the Ethereum subject, we talked about this in the past, and it was that when Ethereum switched to proof of stake, it became very centralized. When it was proof of work, it was very decentralized, right? Yes, there was large farms, blah, 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 whatever. It was more decentralized than it is now. Most of the nodes are on Amazon AWS. If the government went to go to Amazon and was like, hey, you need to stop this and block this person and stop Chris Vega from participating in the network, here's his addresses, they could stop me. I would obviously have to obfuscate my information, create alternate wallets, try to move funds if they didn't block me already to those wallets, and then hopefully they wouldn't find out who is what. But either way, it's very centralized. So there are some concerns about Ethereum. Some may argue that this movement, and they're talking about the movement as far as price, reflects a broader de-interest in cryptocurrencies, evident to the fact that Google searches for Ethereum have reached their lowest point in 3 years. However, Ethereum has underperformed the overall altcoin market capitalization by 15% since July. Interestingly, the price movement coincided with Ethereum's average 7-day transaction fee decline to $1.80, the lowest level in the past 12 months. To put this into perspective, these fees stood at an average of $5 2 months ago, and a cost considered high even for initiating a closing batch layer 2 transaction. There's also regulatory uncertainty and lower staking yield back for each price demand. What they're basically saying is the regulatory uncertainty plus the lack of interest of, the decrease in the validated queue, the lack of interest in staking, because what has been locked up is pretty much locked up, and very little people are participating. That's helping with the price decline and the uncertainty and doubt and stuff like that. There's less interest in it from investors participating in a network validation process as the yield decreased from 4.3% to 3.6%. So less yield, less earning potential. Now, on October 12th, regulatory concerns escalated after the Autorité de Contrôle Prudentiel et de Résolution, or ACPR, a division of the French Central Bank, highlighted the paradoxical high degree of concentration risk in the decentralized finance. The ACPR report suggested a need for specific rules governing smart contract certification and governance to protect users. That's why I started looking into these audits. That's why I started trying to learn Solidity. I can't build you a contract, but I'm starting to pick up on the mechanisms, the variables, the various aspects of a smart contract, and I'm posting them on yeti.uk. A number of people asked me to look at Etica, which is not a smart contract deployed on Ethereum, but I am reviewing that one as well. I already did, for example, Wall Street memes, which, by the way, let's go look at what Wall Street memes is up to today. And I posted, if I'm able to do it, because I'm only one human being with a life and everything. Yeah, it's down since, it basically popped off. So high of almost 8 cents, it looks like. And now it's only at 3.4 cents. Kind of leveled off from where it was at the very beginning. But I looked at this smart contract, and all this can be found on Yeti.uk, where my brothers Yeti and Chump Change go over some of the hardware wallets, like full node wallets, stuff like that. We're going to be doing hardware wallets soon. I reviewed the mining software Rainbow Miner. I'll probably come up with more. And I'm just going to continue chipping away at various things. I know not all contracts are going to be of interest to you. But the point being is that the French, and I'm pretty sure other governments agree, that there needs to be some sort of governing of smart contract certification to certify this smart contract is legit. Kind of give it that stamp of approval. But how are they going to do that? There's so many different auditing services out there that would charge you. It's very hard to see how would they accomplish this? How would they accomplish governing the smart contract arena, especially because there's so many different cryptos and so many different contracts being deployed on a regular basis to start a new token, start a new process, start a new program, it's the crypto industry has grown really, really fast. Yes, it is much easier to write in Rust compared to Solidity. That is true. But Ethereum is built on Solidity. While Rust is a more user-friendly language, in my opinion, Solidity is just what the Ethereum devs use. All right. So let's see here. Total value locked. Here we go. Ethereum total value locked decreased from 13.3 million ETH to 12.5 million in the past 2 months, indicating reduced demand. Yes, we know about the reduced demand. While regulatory concerns may not be directly related to Ethereum classification as commodity, they could adversely affect the DApp industry. Furthermore, there is no assurance that key pillars of the ecosystem, such as CoinSensus and Ethereum Foundation, will remain unaffected by potential regulatory actions, particularly in the United States. So we'll see how things pan out. A little bit of fear and uncertainty and doubt, as the market likes to do. Lack of demand, lack of interest, but I do think things will stick around. Things will get better as long as we get jerks like this guy out of here. Moving on to SBF. Sam Bankman-Fried's decision to raid billions from the sister company Alameda. Star witness testifies. Now, that star witness, I believe, was, what's her name? Allison, or what's her name? I forgot what her name is. See, I don't care about these people. Okay, yeah, Ellison. Caroline Ellison testified on Thursday during the trial that in the final days of Alameda research, she admitted wrongdoing to her employees in all hands meeting, and all hands on deck, basically, telling them that the decision to borrow funds from customers of their sister firm, FTX, was Sam's, I guess, question mark. I never liked misleading my employees, she told jurors, but Alameda faced bankruptcy, she felt trapped, and she wanted to be open and honest in answering any employee questions. The statement came at the tail end of the 3-day testimony in the trial of SBF, her former boss and ex-boyfriend, who she says directed her and others to engage in multi-billion-dollar fraud over several years. Also, at several points in her tenure as CEO of Alameda, she wanted to quit, she said, but SBF told her that she couldn't because she was too important to Alameda. Probably more or less too important to him at the time. Ellison's testimony offered rare insights into the rise and fall of SBF's crypto empire, blah, blah, blah. Bankman-Fried-led defense attorneys sought to undermine her narrative on cross-examination, emphasizing that Ellison had autonomy as CEO of crypto trading firm, basically like she was operating on her own over at Alameda. But how did she get the funds? Okay, anyways. We'll see more as this trial progresses. It's a crap show. Let's just be real. It's just a crap show. And honestly, I'm not too big into this drama stuff. People love it. People eat it up. I don't care for drama. But anyways, Calhoun suggests that Ellison's own decisions played a role in the collapse of Alameda and its sister exchange. Yeah, 100%. You had to use customer funds to dig the hole out because you weren't using math. You were using stop losses. You were making plays and bets in a situation. You should have learned from Celsius. You should have learned from Three Arrows Capital. You should have learned from all the companies before you who were using company assets to cover the books and then make plays or bets using customer funds that didn't pan out, and then you lost the customer's funds, and so when they go to withdraw, there's no funds there. Why are you touching that? You should have your own. They should be 2 separate things, 3 separate things, 4 separate things. Customer funds, investor funds, exchange funds, futures funds. I don't know how you want to categorize it, but they shouldn't mix. They should not mix. But when you're messing around with 32 billion, man, that money looks good. Next thing you know, you're buying a Ferrari and saying, "No, I want to give it to the people." Well, you can't divide a Ferrari in 50,000 pieces for people, all right? Not unless you're gonna give them a bunch of models. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm shutting up. Anyways, Sam didn't defraud anyone. Cohen said in the opening testimony, Sam acted in good faith, trying to build and run FTX in Alameda, but things were happening quickly, very quickly. Sam and others made hundreds of decisions a day. As a result, some things got overlooked. We'll see how things pan out. Definitely think that they need some jail time. I'm gonna play this video here real quick before we move on. I got a couple videos to play for you, but let's play this one real quick. Let me mute myself and play this for y'all.
Bankman-Fried trial is coming to an end as the prosecution's star witness took the stand. So, what did you miss? Welcome to this special edition of CoinDesk Daily on the Sam Bankman-Fried trial. I'm your host, Jen Sanasi. Former Alameda Research CEO Caroline Ellison concluded her testimony on Thursday. For over 3 days on the stand, she testified that the crypto hedge fund used $10 billion in FTX customer funds to repay debts and make investments. Ellison, who is the ex-girlfriend of Sam Bankman-Fried, testified that she wasn't as good a manager or a leader as she could have been. The Department of Justice also emphasized that Ellison ultimately deferred to Bankman-Fried's judgment and that Bankman-Fried directed his people to commit fraud. Months before FTX and Alameda Research collapsed, Ellison said she worried that both companies would fail. Some of the worries stemmed from doctored balance sheets, which were given to investors that left out crucial information, like the fact that Alameda Research owed billions of dollars to FTX. Ellison also said that her firm engaged with accountants in 2021 and 2022 who, quote, couldn't or wouldn't do it. Next up on the stand was Christian Drapey, a former Alameda Research software engineer. Drapey's testimony focused on the fateful Alameda all-hands meeting that happened days after CoinDesk revealed FTX's liquidity crisis. The jury heard a recording where Ellison says FTX was trying to raise money to pay back customers, but efforts ultimately failed. In the recording, she also says that she, Bankman-Fried, and FTX executives Gary Wang and Nishad Singh were all aware that Alameda used FTX's customers' money. Earlier in the week, FTX co-founder and former CTO Gary Wang completed his testimony. During questioning, defense lawyers asked him about a memo that Sam Bankman-Fried wrote in September 2022, just 2 months before the collapse of FTX. In the memo, we learned that Bankman-Fried contemplated shutting down Alameda Research because, quote, the PR hit from Alameda and FTX both existing is really large, end quote. The memo refers to a story Bloomberg planned to publish about the close ties between the companies. It also referred to former Alameda Research CEO Ellison as, quote, not a natural leader. Outside of the prosecution's questions, there were a few awkward moments, including meandering questioning from Bankman-Fried's defense attorney during the cross-examination of Ellison, which was met with several objections from the prosecution and a few warnings from the judge. And that's a wrap for this special edition.
Not a natural leader. So why was she in charge? Why was she in charge? Why did you make her CEO? Oh, because she was your girlfriend. Don't put your boyfriend or girlfriend in a top level position unless they're qualified. This is why you don't mess around where you work. I'm not sure if you guys know what I mean by that, right? Don't date your coworkers. Not unless there's an external relationship that brewed outside of the job place. But if you start a job and you start working there, and then you start flirting with the coworker, and then eventually you guys get hitched or whatever, that usually ends up bad. It doesn't always end up bad. That usually ends up bad. You do not, the terminology I'm trying to say here is you don't shit where you sleep. You got to be careful. But anyways, she was really weird. You know, SBF is really weird. They're very unique, weird. They're probably intelligent. But as far as just because you're intelligent doesn't mean you can run a ship. Doesn't mean you can lead a troop. Doesn't mean you can be a general. Doesn't mean you can be a CEO, CTO. So, and I don't know, man. These days, and I'm sorry, there's YouTube's telling me there's going to be an ad that's about to run here. I'm going to skip for right now. I don't know what YouTube's doing. Anyways, I'm just baffled. I wasn't impacted by FTX, but I know how much it impacted people. That's another thing too. They talked about investors, right? Why didn't you guys do your due diligence? Well, they did their due diligence. It's just the reports and the information provided to them were falsified, right? Showing numbers that were misleading, lying on their forms, lying on applications and this, that, and the other. It's unfortunate, but it's becoming like a common occurrence. People lie about their certifications and education to get a job, and then when push comes to shove, shit hits the fan, they can't perform because they're not really qualified. And you want a piece of paper, right? So my knowledge exceeds what I have on paper. I do not have everything on paper. I don't have a master's in this and a PhD in that and a certification in this and a certification in that. I don't. I got some, but not, 10,000 of them. So my knowledge supersedes what you see on that paper, but you want that paper to be accurate. However, we got people out there who had the money to get that education, certification, degree, and they do have it on paper. But when a situation arises, they panic and they don't know how to lead. They don't know how to take charge. They don't know how to stop it. They don't know how to rectify. So, I don't know. Back in the day, it was all about experience, right? As long as you had experience, you were good to go. Now it's all about certifications and degrees and more importantly, what college did you go to, right? If I mention a college that got shut down because they were misleading their students and defrauding them, compared to a college like University of Florida, FSU, Texas Tech, Harvard, MIT, you're probably going to pass on the application for somebody with one of those lesser colleges or education arenas or companies compared to a university. So, and you can just lie now to fake the funk and get into whatever position. And that's everything. That's not just politics. That's everything. It's lie, repeat the lie, and eventually you'll win. What happened to honesty? What happened to truth? What happened to do right by one another? It's like the moral compass of the world has went to shit, man. Anyways. FTC reaches the settlement. I mentioned this earlier with the Voyager Digital. Charges former executive with falsely claiming customer funds or deposits were insured by the FDIC. Now, I remember my friends asking me about Celsius and BlockFi and all this stuff, and I was like, look, if you put your funds on there, they say all the right words, but there is no Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation protections. Those funds are gone. Those funds are gone. There is no FDIC insurance. So be careful. But anyways, consumers reported over 1.4 billion in losses in cryptocurrency scams in the last year, and the FTC continues to crack down on those who lie to consumers about the risky assets, says Samuel Levine. The actions reminds companies and individuals don't play fast and loose with claims about FDIC insurance. So some people will probably obviously say that they're FDIC insured, but they're obviously fucking not. This situation I'm not happy with. We don't need any more wars breaking out. Even if it's not a major war in your area, your country, your region, whatever. We don't need any more. When people are broke, they usually fight. And right now, it's a tough time after COVID. Kind of knew this was gonna happen after COVID. But Hamas has raised millions in crypto donations. Wall Street Journal talks about. And then, of course, now politicians are trying to use it as a use case for why they should ban crypto or regulate crypto into the ground or do this or whatever, and anti-money laundering. Look, Hamas was going to get the money regardless if it was crypto or not, man. Regardless if it was crypto or not, people are going to misuse, misappropriate, just do bad things in general. And if you stop them from getting Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, they're just going to use other assets, or maybe one of their intelligent friends is going to create a new asset, right? That everybody is going to pump, right? And then they're going to sell a big bag, and then use that money to, fund whatever they want to do. How do you stop this? How do you make sure that your hardware for mining isn't being used for nefarious purpose? How do you stop a crypto asset from being used for nefarious purposes? I don't have the answer to that. If there's a way to do it without killing crypto and blockchain, great. But crypto and blockchain is here to stay. We got to figure it out. We got to adapt. We got to figure out something. I'm not sure. Anyways, that's pretty much the show as far as news. I'm not going to get too involved on the political segment on here on YouTube. But follow me on Twitter. I have SerpentX Tech on Twitter. There's the official Twitter page or X page for this channel. And then I have my personal, CMV Jax, where I post random stuff, football, maybe a little bit of politics, a little bit religious. That's my personal take on certain things. But all I know is that we don't need more war. We don't. We still got the Ukraine-Russia situation happening, and now this. Tensions continue to climb. We don't need anything more to climb. I hope cool heads prevail, but I understand. Just going to end it there. I'm going to stop talking. Anyways, Intel Arc A580. A year too late, but it's a good price. Got some pretty good reviews from some of your favorites. We got a chart here that shows the performance metrics with XESS off and then performance. And you can see the frame rates on Remnant 2, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, Hogwarts Legacy, which is actually a very intense game. What else is Cyberpunk, very intense game. So not too bad. Budget performance. I know DJ Mines did some content on the previous Intel graphics. So we'll see if anybody gets their hands on this and how it performs. I, unfortunately, am not in a position to buy new hardware and show you guys great content on said new hardware. I am not in that position. I probably won't be in that position for a while. So either my content's going to slow down, because I've been publishing content for years now. Hang on. We'll talk about that as we wrap up. Counter-Strike 2 and other games having issues with anti-lag, Radeon anti-lag. Turn it off. Otherwise, it could result in a VAC ban or VAC ban. Just be mindful of that. There are other ways to improve your game performance without getting the ban activated. But also AMD needs to do better. And, work with the developers and improve so that way these bans don't happen. But even Counter-Strike 2 as an example is using it immediately after being added to the drivers. May not be a good idea. The good news is the anti-lag works on Radeon 7000 series, so gamers using older hardware should not be affected. So if you're running a 6000 series or older, you should be fine. But if you're running a 7000 series GPU with anti-lag, it could be a problem. So just be mindful of that. AMD is trying to address it. There's some news and updates on their Twitter. You can go check that out. But yeah, that's today's show. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'm gonna continue talking to you as we wrap up and get ready for Red Panda mining. Which, by the way, let's go check his channel out. Red Panda. Did you guys see that I saw Red Panda at Epcot? I posted it on my Twitter. Matter of fact, let's go find it. Man, you guys didn't come hang out with me. You're all chilling in there. Whatever. Let's see here. Profile. Where's Red Panda? Was it one of my replies? It's probably one of my replies. Where is it? Where is it? Dang it, man. There it is. So, Red Panda should be going live here in a few. You guys are going to be redirected to him. And we'll see how the day pans out. I got some stuff I need to do. But, yeah. Either I'm going to slow down on making content. Because this channel has been active since 2012. A lot of the old content has been removed. And only content from 2017 on is active. Because the quality of those videos was crap. The audio was crap. I looked like crap because I was going through a rough time in my life after 2011. And either I'm going to drop from 3 videos because I release videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. with shorts or little bits of videos, in between. Channel updates for the members or Patreons on Sundays. I'm trying to get better at that. But I've been so busy with work, so busy with my personal life. It's been really freaking hard to keep up with everything because this is not my full-time job. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that. So when you guys, not you guys, but when some out there like hit me over the head with a bat, like there's nothing I can do. Like if there's a mistake, I'll try to fix it, but it's not going to be immediate. I'm not always going to bring you the hottest and latest news, unfortunately. Today, we got some pretty good ones. Nothing I'm really happy with. But, I mean, maybe the Bitcoin ETF is on track for Grayscale. We're still waiting on BlackRock. The Ethereum short ETF, don't really care too much for it. Maybe some people do. Maybe that'll bring some more volume in. I don't know. The SEC not battling Grayscale is good news. Bitcoin's up. Ethereum's not following the same trajectory. Unfortunately, there's a lot of negatives right now. I mean, let's go to the CoinMarketCap. What is the fear and greed at right now? It's at 40%. We've been sitting between, red. We've been in this orange for a while. I want to see us break out, move on to something better. We'll see how things go. But patience, my friends, patience. Keep your head down. Keep grinding. I keep saying it every video, but I'm going to keep saying it until we actually break out of this beachhead and move out and do good things. Son of Rabbit Panda says, there is a reason Carolina is wearing such big glasses, if you know what I mean. Don't stop making videos. Check out Son of a Tech's video on this topic. So I'm not saying I'm going to stop making videos. I'm going to slow down, right? Because I can't acquire new hardware to give you guys something interesting, to draw you in, right? My content doesn't really, it's not a clickbait type situation. I did get a couple of y'all sometimes just because I wanted to be funny. But I'm not a very clickbaity type person. I'm not a very like, hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the chat. I'm not that type of person. I'm just a regular guy. I just want to test stuff, give you data, and then share my experience. So because I can't acquire new hardware, the best thing I can do is maybe like how-to guides on stuff I can access, or audits on yeti.uk, just what I have with me. All right, so I'm sorry I can't get the latest S21 miner or the KS3M or L or whatever it is. I try to get a KS0 and the vendor just crapped out on me. Any vendors I reach out to look at my channel like, oh, you're not Red Panda Mining, you're not Son of a Tech, you're not Boss Coin, you're not big enough. We need hundreds of thousands of subscribers to the channel to consider you, and then they just keep it moving. So because I'm not big enough and because I don't get enough views, I'm not going to get hardware sent to me in exchange for promotion or marketing or anything like that. I have to pay, and I don't have the money to do that. Which this is why you've been seeing a lot of S9 content. It's not as productive, it's not as view catchy, but it works. Anyways, I'm gonna keep grinding. You guys have yourself a good day. Red Panda Mining is live. Hit me up if you need anything. If you need some consulting for your farm or farms or a friend or something like that, let's get something together. And I will catch you in the next one. Take care.